Before we start, we need to really know about the formula when doing binomial expansion. So it normally involves like this. So you want to expand to actually get a power of n plus nc1, where this is the first term and this is the second term, this is the third term, and it continues. That's how you expand any binomial, anything like this. To begin, we're going to start with this question. Find the coefficient of x cubed in the expansion of 1 plus 3x power of 8. Well, this question is actually very easy. Okay, we'll stop here and let's give the next expansion. So basically we have found the answer. Therefore, coefficient of x cubed is 1512. As simple as that. Okay guys, let's move on. Find in ascending powers of x the first three terms in the expansion of 2 minus 3x power 5. The first three terms in the expansion of a plus bx times 2 minus 3x power 5 in ascending powers of x are 64 minus 192x plus cx squared. Find the value of a, b, and c. Okay, basically in this question there's two parts to solve. First of a, that is, we want to find in ascending powers of x the first three terms. So this is very easy. Use the formula to solve. Now it will be nice if you put a plus dot 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 dot. It will be nicer. So well, this is the answer because there are three terms. This is the first three terms, 1, 2, 3, and that is ascending powers of x. So we found a basically. Sorry, I got some runny nose. Okay, now we have solved the first part. How about the second part? The first three terms in the expansion of this in ascending powers of x are 64 minus 192x plus cx squared. Find the value of a, b, c. A, b, and c. Okay. So now let's continue b. Okay. So now we've just solved for a. So in the question it says a plus bx times 2 minus 3x power 5, which is this one, so you can immediately write down. Anyway, 64 minus 192x plus cx squared. Let's mention the question. Okay. So now we have done for this, it's time to basically expand. Now expansion is as simple as you remember the normal expansion. You start from a, you multiply with all of these, and then bx multiplies with all of these. Okay, there's a bit of a special case here. When you actually when you actually see here on this question, it said for the first three terms. So basically, if you multiply some more, I mean bx multiplies 720x squared, you are actually going beyond the third term. It's already finished, because you can already see clearly the number of terms you have. See, separated clearly. You got a's, which is indicated as one term. Then you got ax and bx, indicates that's already the second term. Then you already got x1 and x squared, that's already showing that there's already three terms inside. So no need to multiply bx plus 7 times 720x squared, because you are going to go beyond the third term. So be careful on that. Now basically I just put the equal here because perhaps there's a finite amount of space, so that's why I put it down. But when it comes to exam, don't do like that. This is for the purpose of the video itself. Then you want to rearrange. Okay, so basically I actually do like that without x as the first term, with the presence of x as the second term, and the presence of x squared as the third. This is how you rearrange. Why do you rearrange? Because you want to factorize. So now you can already clearly see that this is the second, this is the third. And that's why you rearrange at this appropriate area, like x to be the common term, this x squared to be the common term for the third, and this x as a common term for the second term. Okay, so now you can already clearly see the terms. So you may write therefore the 32a just matched, simple as match. A is as simple as 64 over 32. 64 divided by 32 is 2. So you got A. Next up, 32b minus 240a. X is negative 192x. And I can see the same terms, right? So you can simply delete it. Now you can substitute the value of a into a. You can substitute your answer of a into this equation. $28, and then b is 288 divided by 32. You should get 9. Okay, finally C. Okay, you need to use this one. Okay, now finding C is absolutely easy because you found A and B. So 720A minus 240B squared equals to CX squared. You can simply delete the term x squared because it's the same. So simply substitute your answers. You must get, I believe it's negative 720. So therefore A is equals 2, B equals 9, and C equals to negative 720. Alright, let's look at this question. The binomial expansion of 1 plus px power of n, where n is greater than 0, in ascending powers of x is 1 minus 12x plus 28p squared x squared plus qx cubed. Find the value of n, of p, and of q. Now, like most questions on binomial expansion, you must remember the formula. Okay, so this is basically the expansion here, and basically, you know what, I did 4 terms because I want to follow the number of terms is given in the question. There's also 4 terms, so I matched, so it becomes 4. Okay, now there's some extra information you want to know here. Is this one? Mathematicians have basically took a lot of time to actually make a different way to find NC1. Basically, NC1 is as simple as n over 1. Okay, NC1 is equals to n over 1. So which means you can write so n over 1 1 n minus 1 with the px1 should actually give me n px. Now keep this, and you got another one to do here. For this one, nc2. nc2 is basically n and minus 1 over 2 nice. Now we form another one. Next, for nc3, nc3 is actually n minus 1 times n minus 2. This times over 6. Now that you've obtained a different way to find NC1, NC2, NC3, now you're gonna replace the NCs with what you've done there. Basically, at the end you should get 1 plus npx okay, so now we are done with this. This npx six is actually equals to what's given in the question. Basically, it's 1 minus 12x plus 28p squared x squared plus qx cubed. So this equation you form is actually equals to this, which is what it was given in the question. Okay, so let's now move on. Okay, now the next thing is easy. You want to match all of these terms accordingly, because we formed 4 terms here and we got 4 terms here, and we got 4 terms here there. If we don't form 4 terms, then we can't match. So it's very important that you match with the number of terms given in the question. Okay. So to start off, let's do this one. Basically, n n minus 1 p squared x squared over 2 is equals to 28 p squared x squared. Squared. And you notice that these terms are very similar, so we can delete it out, leaving n minus 1 over 2 becomes 28, and 28 times 2 should give me 56, and then n times n is n squared, and n times negative 1 gives me negative n. So n squared negative n is 56, and you form a quadratic equation. At this point, you need to do the cross multiplication, and you notice you get negative n, which means n minus 8 and n plus 7 is 0. So at the end, n minus 8 is 0, so n is 8, or n plus 7 is 0, so n is negative 7. Now, there are two answers here. However, you want to use this as the answer. There is no negative answer. You don't want to use the negative answer for n. So you want to use 8. So 8 is the answer for the value of n that the question is asking for. Okay. Another one is, let's just write A. Another one we want to find is the first part. We already find n now, which is npx. We move down. We'll move the paper so you can see. Npx is equals to negative 12x. So now that we find n, don't use a negative answer. Use a positive answer. That's a tip. 8 times px is negative 12x, and if I say px is negative 12x. Now xx similar, right? So you can just simply delete it. At the time, then negative 12 over 8 is going to give me negative 3 over 2, which is negative 1.5. This is the answer for P. But what we need to find for C, of course, for Q, I mean. Okay, Q is for here is n minus 1. So I'm going to find a similar term related to it, and you can see it's x cubed is similar. And remember to use the answers you got there. Six, and then you want to multiply p. Oh, we're gonna leave the. I'm gonna make some space. Negative 1.5 cubed, and x cubed is similar, so we can delete that. It's all equals q, and after you do all the multiplications, you should get negative 189. So the answers are n equals 8, p equals to negative 1.5 or negative 3 over 2, and q equals to negative 189. Alright, now we're going to do a question, a binomial expansion question that's basically relating to independence of something. And for this one, in the binomial expansion of x plus k over x cubed power of 8, where k is a positive constant, the term independent of x is 252. Evaluate k. Okay. So, I'm gonna use the working here. Okay, to basically start, you first must know the formula of binomial expansion. If you don't know, then you'll be doomed in this question. Basically, it's x plus k over x cubed over 8, right? Okay, we're going to stop here and take a look what it's asking for. What the question is saying. Where k is positive constant, the term independent of x is 252. When you talk about independence, you're going to make sure you find a term that allows you to cancel the x. That's the objective. So you can see which term it makes you think allows the x to be cancelled. Of course, it's this third term. First, second, third term, respectively. So we're going to use this term here. 8c2 is basically 28, and x6 k over k square over x power 6. 3 times 2 is 6. Okay, use the law of dice for this. Now basically all of this is 252. That's the thing to remember, because the term independent of x is 252. You know why. You know why I immediately write 252, because why? Because you can cancel all of these. 28k square, or 28 times k square is 252 basically. Then 252 divided by 252 divided by 28 is 9, and you square root 9 to become 3. This is the answer. You can check in the mark scheme for this. And the next question, you want to use the value of k that you find the coefficient of x for an expansion of this one here. So just keep in mind on this number. We're going to ignore it we'll leave that aside, and we're going to just make the binomial expansion simple as possible. Plus you can see it's 8 times, okay, this is 8c1 is 8. Okay, and you want to use the k as shown, so basically it's 8 times 3, as you substitute 3 to k, so 8 times 3 is 24, and x power 7, you bring this one up here, you bring x power 3 up here, so x power 7 times x power negative 3 becomes x power 4. Then all of this is 252. As you now know k, you can simply put 252. Okay, now what? Now we're going to use this to give it an expansion with this one. In that case, we're going to use 1 minus x4 as mentioned in the question. Multiply with your expansion here. I'm going to quickly do the expansion here. Use the special rule first with 1 times all of these, then this term, this number here, or this fraction, you multiply all of these. Let's try that quickly. Okay, so this is basically the expansion. Please take a while to understand. Now, you want to find say here the coefficient of x power 4. So basically in this expansion you did, you want to find all coefficients of x power 4. In this case, this and this. Therefore, you can say coefficient of x4, we say total coefficient of x4, but you can also write this is still fine. So this one equals to the 24 plus this fraction 252 over 4. This is also a coefficient as well. 24 plus minus or negative 252 divided by 4 is what? Basically it's negative 63, and you simply 24 minus 63 is what? Basically it's minus or negative 39. This is your answer. You can check in the mark scheme. Alright, this is the end of the video now, and if you feel that you get some sort of a knowledge from the questions I've shown to you just now, it will be such an appreciation if you subscribe to my YouTube channel, Hazli Productions. Thank you so much for your attention, and I'll leave you with Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.